Finish it. Come on, here we go. Finish it.
You're keeping your reps honest, you're keeping your time honest, and you're keeping your weight honest, and that gives you kind of the grounding or the structure of the honest 8 workout.
That's sort of the thing of it, is you're keeping being honest here using the weight, but you don't want to bastardize form. So he's 8 sets 8. Let's just say, for example, on the lateral raise machine, if maybe go full stack for 8 reps, okay, fine. But what about 3/4 of that stack for 8 sets 8 with a 30-second break or less? That's what you're trying to get to. So you keep it honest. You start there, and over time, the goal over these 6 weeks is to progress the weights up. However, not by extending the rest period. So ideally, you're going to slightly decrease the rest periods too. So in a perfect world, using more weight and you're resting a little less, and you'll be surprised how you adapt this. It seems like the first week, you're going to die. By week 4, all of a sudden you're taking, I'm ready to go 15, 20 seconds. Let's throw a little more pig iron and get that son of a buck done, and that's exactly what's going to happen. So this is a good way to, bodybuilding stage, chip and Delt stage, but would not get you ready for the powerlifting stage. We're increasing density from multiple angles, bombarding those muscles with a level of fatigue they've never felt before. And for the lab coats, we can call this metabolic stress. Great way to induce metabolic stress. We're not going to get so much of that mechanical, super heavy tension here, but this is sort of like rest pause training, rest pause drop training on a cycle of D-ball with some tests thrown in, my friends, is exactly what this is, because it's harder. It's very hard. So you're doing long 8 reps, some good time under tension, but very short breaks. So it's like you get this continuous time under tension with just very short rests interdispersed in there. So it's going to really help you if you've never done this kind of training before. What we did today is hit that. So what we're going to do is we really focused on JJ's side delts as we started off with, and the execution's key here, because former NFL player, done a lot of neck and trap work, so it's easy for him to want to get hit, want to get that trap dominant like a lot of people doing lateral raises. And if you're doing them as like some sort of accessory to trap growth, fine. But if you're doing it for your side delt, he really has a focus. Tell him a little about the cues. Your focus. Let me go, Fed. You'll explain it better, because
okay.
You've had this struggle.
It's a constant struggle for me not to engage trap, and as I do have an overdeveloped trap structure. So I'm consciously focusing on the depression, constantly keeping my upper back traps through rectors down. I want to force those down. At the same time, the movement of my arms, the execution of my arms, are a movement as if I wanted to put my hand, separate my hands away from my body, or put my hand through a window, or my arm through a window. So both hands are moving away from my body in a movement that I'm reaching outwards as opposed to upwards. Is generally, a common misconception.
He's basically locking down, almost like he's putting that musculature he's talking about in his back pocket. Is the way, if you think about it, he's putting it in his back pocket, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm just trying to make it real simple for people. And reach as far, instead of a raise, he's reaching as far away from himself as he can. Definitely. So it's like he's reaching for something out here. So even if you do the lateral raises with a bent arm, fine, you're still going as far away from yourself as you can, but you don't want to get up here to get your trap as far away as he can reach, and fill it in that side delt. So we go into there, the next isometric exercise, and what JJ's doing there, just get a band. So he's gonna pull as hard as he can right there, just pull that band apart, and that's as far as he can go. He holds that for 30 seconds, and it is like absolute hell on his side delts, and that's where the intentionality, the focus is. Because you can be like this and get everything involved and whatever, but right there he's isolating it. Exactly. It's just all about using those side delts to try to rip that band apart, but it's not going to move. After that, we finish off with some rear delts, you see, and then obviously to explain your kind of intentionality there in the rear delts.
The rear delts, it's the prone movement. So when you're in a prone position, you're taking out, ideally, you're going to take out core engagement. You're going to take out anybody that has the happy feet, that kind of wants to use the happy feet, use your feet and legs for momentum, or even a seated position where you're swinging, kind of where you're bent over at your waist and you're swinging, you're able to kind of raise your torso up, and that gives you the ability to elevate. With this intentionality of being in a prone position, you're able to isolate your rear delt in a manner where you're doing the same concept of forcing your hands apart as if you're moving them away from your body, but at the same time, you want to have an upward movement or trajectory. You don't want to get too scientific, but an upward movement as if you're moving up towards your face. And so that movement, honestly, will just target your posterior delts or your rear delts, and remove any other momentum or any other muscular engagement that you normally would have.
Yep, and then we finish off with 3 tricep exercises. So with the machine, tricep extensor on the Gymleco machine from Sweden, and then you could do you could do a rope or something else if you didn't have that. followed by dumbbell tricep, floor tricep extensions. The key to those is when you move that weight off the floor, make sure you're initiating that contraction with your triceps.
Keep your elbows in.
Keep your elbows in. And then finally finish off with machine dips, sitting up and good versus trying to, you know, chest it out.
Yeah, pec engagement. You want to sit upright and kind of retract your shoulder blades or pull your shoulders back so that you're able to isolate your triceps when you're doing your the movement or depression.
There you have it. 56 sets, 7 exercises, 8 sets. Keeping it honest.